What's going on, YouTube? How's everybody today? It's good to hear. I'm doing alright too. So today we're going to review Professional Murder music, just because I'm trying to go through all my albums one by one without even like trying to pick them really, just like get it out of the way. Let's get this album done, let's do this. I used to be young, I used to be 21 years old. I used to go through this kind of like, you know, young adult, teenage, late teens kind of, you know, angst period where you listen to a lot of angry music and you're not really sure what good music is, what's the next big band, what sounds good, what's going to be not embarrassing years down the road. You just want something to like help you vent right away. But even back then, when I was going through like the whole Korn, Marilyn Manson, what have you kind of bands, I never was really a big fan of Professional Murder music. I just bought this album just because I needed something new, just go to the metal section, see what's new and generic there, and pick this up because I didn't know any better. But 2001 debut album on Geffen Records. It was also released on Interscope in 2000, but I got the Geffen Records one. These guys are from Los Angeles, California, and it's not really metal or anything. It's just hard rock, a lot of like electronic and industrial undertones, a lot of like electronic programming, like keyboards and synths and stuff, to try to make this like a dark, moody atmosphere to suit their like, you know, their look. This is a band that had like, you know, an image of, you know, I don't know if it was leather or they were wearing some sort of latex shirts, but they had like, you know, dreadlocks and stuff. But like, you know, big crunchy guitar riffs and like bombastic drums with the electronic programming. Very generic vocals though, like the vocalist could use some work. He doesn't sound all that inspired or like, I don't know, talented at singing. Like there's not a lot of, you know, hardcoreness there. It's very like kind of, what am I trying to say, like hard rock sounding kind of vocals, like I don't know, very bland, very, you know, uneventful, I guess. I don't know. The songs are all pretty formulaic too. Like there's a lot of like radio friendly, radio ready hard rock songs on here that could easily get played on the radio and garner like a big fan base, because these songs that are like singles on here are pretty catchy and like, you know, aren't all that threatening or mentally stimulating. They do have that faux dark atmosphere that people could really get into, you know, people, you know, with low mental capacities who don't have a lot of thought process into what they're listening to, just like instant gratification kind of songs. A lot of bloggers I was reading online from said like, oh yeah, this is the kind of music I love to just play really loud in my car and stuff like that. And like, that's fine if you want to do that, but like a lot of bands that like this, like a lot of like, well, new metal, these guys aren't really new metal, but you know, hard rock kind of bands like Godsmack and like Orgy and Union Underground, these guys also got big before their album even came out, because they're friends with like, they're touring with like Kid Rock and Power Man 5000 and Static X, and you know, rubbing elbows with Stained and Cold way back in the day. So they got a record deal right away. Like Geffen's a big label and this is their debut album, so they got somewhat successful like overnight, almost within like a few months of like recording an album and stuff. These guys got around a lot, did a lot of touring, so they did get like a fair amount of exposure. Like they're on the End of Days soundtrack, the Valentine soundtrack. They got onto the Jet Grind Radio video game for Dreamcast, so you know, they were on things. So they had you know, a mild amount of success, which is good. This album's 12 songs, 47 minutes long. It's kind of monotonous. Like I said, the songs are formulaic. They all have like the same kind of, you know, crunchy guitar, like very little changes. Some songs rip off Static X more, some songs rip off Korn more. The vocals hardly ever change. There's a song on here, a single called Fall Again. It's got Troy Van Leeuwen on lead guitar. He's the guy from Perfect Circle. And DJ Lethal plays in an instrumental song, the last song called Painkiller Introduction. So they are showing their friends and stuff, their connections through that a little, as who they're friends with. But yeah, I think a little originality went a long way. Like even the art's very bland. It's black and purple. Pictures of like, you know, diagrams of universes and planet orbits and planetary alignments, and like, you know, people who look like extras from like a Pet Shop Boys video, and just like the lyrics are very generic too. Like the songs aren't really about anything really. Like I'll read you a verse from a song right away. Yeah, just planets and bullshit. So here's how Fall Again goes, a song with Troy Van Leeuwen on lead guitar. How could you say there's nothing? How could you say what's right? How could you say there's nothing when everything's so right? There's not much that's left unsaid, and I can't even tell what's real. Now as the blood drips from your arm to me, it starts to take me from this place. Fall again, I can dream again. Fall again so far from me and everything. How could you say there's nothing? How could you say what's right? How do you need to feel this? What do you think is right? It's been so fast, I cannot see. Far past this world you made for me. It starts to feel so cold, I do not know if this is what I need. Fall again, I can dream again. Fall again, so far from everything and myself. Like, ugh. But yeah, I can, like, as crappy as this is to me, like, I still get nostalgic listening to it. Like, songs like Fall Again I did like listening to in my car. I'm guilty of that. I like listening to Song 9, Everything in the World. But if anything, it would just be a very low guilty pleasure, because I don't, like, the CD does get boring to me. It gets very generic, very monotonous, very repetitive. I don't know, it didn't really stand up to the test of time at all. But if you're into that radio-friendly type shit, these guys are still around. They have a single out right now called Burn the Sun. It's a 2009 song, but yeah, a little originality could have went a long way. Very formulaic songs, blah blah blah, untalented singer, professional murder music, self-titled, Geffen Records, 2001, peace out.